I really feel like I'm about to cry. So I went on and checked for my visa one more time to see if my stuff has been sent back from the embassy, because I was so tired from going out with Whitney since she made a trip down to see me before I left. So I was like, let me check. It's early, but I might as well check before this afternoon. Well, let me just do this and get it over with. I know I'm gonna be disappointed. I know that it's gonna say the same thing. Label created, not yet in the system. So I go on there and it didn't say the same thing. And my stuff is on its way here. For travelers and expats, waiting for a visa can be a very stressful and emotional process, especially in our post-2020 world. In 2018, I began my international teaching adventures in China, where I stayed a year and a half before the pandemic hit when I came home. I had only planned on staying home as long as it took for this COVID thing to blow over, which obviously it still hasn't. But I felt like I had unfinished business in China. There were plenty of things on my China bucket list that I did not get a chance to do because my time there was cut short. So I decided to sign a 3-year contract and make my way back. I think I just heard the mailman. I began the visa process in early April, and with the consulate closing in Houston, it meant that all of my paperwork had to go through the embassy. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. It has been months since I started the visa process, and 1 month since I mailed all of my final documents to the embassy to receive my visa. I think this is it. Oh my goodness. I have been so stressed about whether or not I even filled out the paperwork correctly. I have been stressed about getting this thing. It is officially like I should have been there a month ago. School starts in 3 weeks and I am finally getting this. Obviously, you have a list of people to call immediately when something great happens, or if you have a good juicy piece of tea that you need to spill.
Great.
I got a visa!
Oh, good.
Yay!
That's good. That's a weight lifted off your mind, I know.
This is a time for celebration, and I cannot do it alone.
Oh, really? That's a question.
There have been plenty of people who have been waiting right alongside the entire time, who are just as anxious as I am to get this package in the mail.
Yep. Gotta wait till they wake up.
Before I even knew if I could go back to China to teach, I resigned from my teaching job in America.
I sure did.
I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I wasn't even sure whether or not I would have a job come the next school year.
Hey!
Right now. Look, go to the airport immediately. You need to fly out tonight.
If I could fly out tonight, I would. My bags have been by the door for the last 2 months. It has been so great to have the support of people around me.
Non-stop.
God is so good.
The way I've been looking at this visa like it's not real.
They have kept me level, they have let me vent, and they really do keep me from going insane.
And God is right on time.
Right?
I told you everything was gonna be
All you had
2 weeks after resigning from my job with no prospects or even idea what I was going to do for the next school year, I got an email from my recruiter saying that there was a school interested in me teaching for the next school year in Nanjing.
So now what?
So now I need to let the school know in the morning, well, their morning. So tonight I'll let them know. And then I guess we gotta start looking for flights. And considering they're super expensive, I don't know how that's gonna go. And the last time I checked, they only had a certain amount of flights out every week. So I think there are actually only 2 going out to Shanghai per week and like 2 going out. So they only fly on certain days.
Is it because of COVID?
I think because they have such a limited flight schedule, yes. So I think it's like Monday and Wednesday and then Tuesday and Thursday for a different airline number.
What did they say next week?
Well, they're gonna say next week if they don't say this week.
So when you gonna go get your test?
I have to get it within 48 hours of departure. It can't be too early.
Flights are a problem in themselves. The tickets have been ranging from $10,000 to $11,000. That is 10 and 3 zeros. With a comma, it's been crazy.
And let's pray that we can find a flight
Yeah.
that don't cost
I'm more concerned about
$11,000.
the COVID test first.
One thing at a time, one step at a time.
One step at a time has definitely been the motto for this entire process.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
One step closer, Lord.
Thank you,
Ooh.
girl.
I'm sick of you, though. I'm sick of you.
What number is this on the
Go
list?
somewhere.
Which stress level is this? When I went to Guatemala stress, or like when I almost didn't make it to I almost didn't make it to India. I can't.
I think Guatemala was more stressful, and the reason why I said that is because that was the beginning of your traveling career.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that didn't work out, then all of it was gonna be just.
It set the
that
tone.
Right there was stressful.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that set the tone.
Not only did Guatemala set the tone for my travel experiences, but it also the first time I was away from family during a very important time. My grandmother passed away the night before I was supposed to fly to Guatemala. I was alone for 3 weeks, having to navigate that extreme loss and that grief alone. This really did make me realize that I was a much stronger traveler than I thought I would be. It definitely set the tone for future trips, and I think that that experience also made me better prepared. Being an expat is not easy, especially when you have losses in the family. Having had that experience early on with family members and us being able to go through it together, it made us all much stronger and allowed us to find different ways to support each other, even though there were oceans separating us. One of the things that made me the most nervous about returning to China this go round was the fact that I knew it would be even more difficult to come home in case of emergencies.
So I got my visa back in the mail yesterday and let my school know immediately, and they are already trying to get me booked out for a flight in the next 3 days. So I have to today go get a COVID test, because I need to make sure I don't have COVID before they book the flight. And then once they book the flight, I'll take another COVID test within 48 hours of leaving because it's required. Today is just a bunch of runaround for some last minute things. It's still pretty early. It's like noon. And so my COVID test is at 1. So I'm gonna try and hit up a couple of stores while people are hopefully still at work. I am not going anywhere. So I've been sequestered to my room since we left, and it's almost been a week. So I'm gonna get this COVID test and then I'm staying away from people. Took me a little while to get here, but I have officially made it to the testing line. I think it was maybe like a 30-minute drive, which isn't bad. In order to get my test, it has to be a test approved by the Chinese embassy. So I can't just go anywhere to get my COVID test. So I'm here today getting the PCR and the IgM. So my antibody test, as well as a diagnostic test, and then I'll make my way back here this weekend if I'm leaving Monday and do it all over again. So I guess I'll just wait in line. It's not too bad, but there is a line.
It may not have been too bad, but it definitely was bad. I suggest for anybody who is waiting to get their COVID test in a designated space in order to travel to countries like China or India, make sure that you bring snacks, make sure you bring something to read, and make sure you have something to entertain you and that you get there early so that you don't have any hiccups when it's time to get through the line.
Oh my goodness.
Why is it whenever you need a pen, you can never find a pen?
So I've been waiting about 40 minutes now. It looks like I'm going to miss the window to get my results. by 9 p.m. tonight, so I'll probably have them tomorrow morning. I wanted to have them earlier so that I could get them to China while they're still awake, but I think I'll still be okay. So we'll see, but it's been 40 minutes.
You would think that we were waiting for a long time because there were so many cars in line, but in reality, it was just the fact that they were short-staffed for the day, so there were only about 4 people working. So while the line was short, it took us a really long time to get to the front.
Put the mask on and then put over your mouth. Perfect. Rest your head back. I'm gonna pull it down just a little bit. Shouldn't be painful, slightly uncomfortable, I promise you. Slightly uncomfortable, let me know. I can stop, we could try it again and give you some time.
I feel like we just need to do it the first time and be over with.
I got you. 5 to 10 seconds, we're done.
Okay.
All right, this is my first time getting a nasal swab. I have been dreading this experience and have been putting it off as much as I can. But at this point, I know that I will be getting swabbed almost daily when I arrive in China. So I might as well get used to it now.
Yeah, okay? You doing okay? I know, it feels weird.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
But hey, have a good one.
You too. Oh my goodness, that was awful. Okay, I need to like pull over. Oh my goodness. Oh. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Oh, I think I'm crying. Okay, that was painful. It's kind of like when you are diving or going into the water and all the chlorine goes up into your nose real quick and it burns. Oh my goodness, that thing went so far up my nose or down my sinuses, whatever it did. Whew. I feel like it cleared me up a little bit. That was not fun. That was, no. That was not pleasant.
Unpleasant experience aside, it is time to head back towards Fort Worth so I can go to the store and get a few of the things that I didn't get a chance to pick up and a few of the snacks that I ate while I was waiting for my visa. But first, I need to find food because I have not eaten all day.
This is some good chicken.
Usually when I pack to go to a place, I know when I'm going to leave. So that allows me to write my list of things to get, pack up all of those things, and be done. But because this experience has been very, very long, I have been packing for at least 2 months now. So it's been a little bit different than my usual planned, prepared, and organized packing.
Okay, so here's the news that I know. I can get into China soon, and I'll have to quarantine for 2 weeks. That's been a given. And then I have to go to my apartment and quarantine for 2 weeks there. The airport that's there is closed because that was one of the places that where the spread was. So now with that airport closed, I'm unsure what it's going to look like getting in. Just staying away from everybody.
It does make a great travel story when you can share all of these experiences with people, but when you're the actual person traveling, sometimes the unknown is a little too much.
Okay. Walmart doesn't look too bad. Maybe everybody got tired from shopping on tax-free weekend.
There are just a few things that I will always get when I go to the store. That's usually going to be popcorn and hair products. Especially in China, it's a little difficult to find good Western popcorn because most of the popcorn is the candied flavored popcorn, and I like salty and buttery.
When you travel internationally, there's a few things you don't leave home without. That's going to be Pepto-Bismol, your seasonings. Those are going to be really important. Pepto saves my life all the time. Forget the other runs, they're not gonna happen. Too many people are out. But my nose hurts. Like, is this supposed to hurt like this?
This is pretty much how every night ends in our house. And I'm sure my mom is ready for me to go because it looks an absolute hot mess.
4 suitcases are down. And now I need another suitcase because there's no point in trying to squish everything into 4 suitcases. Daddy. Daddy, can you go get the other suitcase?
If you need anything done, Dads are always the answer.
Alright, so since this is the smallest suitcase, this is gonna be the heaviest, consolidatedest one, right? The small but heavy thing.
At this point, he just rolls his eyes at me and ignores me because I think I've repacked these bags at least 20 times each. It's like a puzzle to me. It's super exciting and fulfilling to get to 49.5 pounds. Having my visa finally here is definitely a relief for me. I know it is also a relief for my parents because I'm sure they have been so sick of me having a bad attitude because I don't know what's going to happen with my visa. I can actually buy a ticket. The next 48 hours are going to be even more insane.